Dear friends, today we are starting our Abhidhamma lesson. According to our former lectures, I have explained up to the Rupavachara Chitta, consciousness related to the material sphere. And we have to discuss consciousness related to the immaterial sphere and the consciousness related to the supramundane sphere. Then, because all these three divisions of the consciousness can be achieved only through meditation. That means Rupavachara, Arupavachara, that means form sphere and formless sphere consciousness can be achieved by following the Samatha meditation or concentration meditation. And supramundane or Lokuttara consciousness can be attained by following the insight meditation. Therefore, in order to understand these three kinds of consciousness, we have to understand the method of meditation. Then I think in the former lecture, I have explained already for the Samatha meditation first, that means which is related to the Rupavachara and Arupavachara, then we have to understand what is Samatha meditation. I have explained, I think, the people belong to 6 kinds of characters. Then we have to identify first to which character we belong. And there are 40 subjects of Samatha meditation. Then we have to select a suitable subject for meditation according to the character. Then I think from there we have to understand the rest. Then suppose that, because in many contexts we have seen that meditation, Samatha meditation is explained by selecting a kasina object. Right? Therefore, I also think that if we explain the Samatha meditation through a kasina object, it is easier. It is easy to understand. Okay, now let us think that we select a kasina mandala, that means round object, circle of a particular color, right? The color should be selected according to the character. Suppose that we selected yellow color kasina, right? Round object. We have to keep it in front of us in a suitable manner, right? We should be able to see it without any difficulty. Then we sit in front of that and we are concentrating on that object, kasina mandala. Then anyone can create a mental image after closing his eyes, after seeing it. But if you try it, keep such an object in, because kasina mandala in front of you and look at it clearly, and then close your eyes and create a mental image of that object. But that mental image, if you compare it with the external object, is very different, because mental image is not clear, it is blurred, maybe sometimes not clear. Therefore, time to time you have to look at it and then close your eyes and create a mental image. Like that, if you continue it, you will be able to create a similar object in your mind in the course of time. It depends on the effort of the person. It may take 1 month or 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, etc. It doesn't matter. But however, if you are very keen in that, then you can create a mental image very similar to the external object very soon, right? Then that is called learning object, that learning sign. Actually, this external object is called preliminary sign, right? Preliminary sign. Then the second one is called learning sign, right? Then learning sign means actually you will be able to create a very 100% very similar image of that object in your mind. That means mental image. Then this is another, it's a step, progressive step. right? Then the problem is that once you are able to create a mental image very similar to the preliminary sign, then that means you no need to look at that external object or preliminary sign again and again, because anywhere if you close your eyes and you can create the similar mental image. Then, but however, due to the various reasons, your mental image will be blurred time to time, will not be clear. Therefore, you have to check it time to time. Suppose that if you are going by a bus, then you are seated, then you are very calm and quiet. Just you can close your eyes and think of the mental image of that external sign. Then if it is very clear, okay, no problem. But sometimes if you see the mental image is damaged, not clear, blurred, then again when you come back home, you have to go to that sign, external sign or preliminary sign, and you readjust your mental image by comparing with the external object. Then you have to complete it again, because any defects you have to eliminate. Like that, checking process should be going, we have to continue. Time to time we check it, and if it has any damage, then we have to rearrange it by comparing with the external object. This process, then these two processes, that means taking the external object into the mind as a mental image is called vitakka. Its technical term is initial application. Then that checking process is called vichara, sustained application, right? Initial application and sustained application. These are the two things that you have to practice in samatha meditation. Then in the course of time, if you are further developing the mental image, that means learning object, then there will arise another sign in your mind which is called patibhaga nimitta or counterpart sign. It is very clear than the other signs. Actually, it is very clear than the mental image as well as the external object. Therefore, actually, that can be achieved when you reach the jhanic level, right? Now you are very close to the trances. But this, these are the two activities that we have to practice as far as this samatha meditation is concerned. Even the arupavachara chitta also is an extension of the same, this samatha meditation. But lokuttara chitta is something different. That means we have to follow the insight meditation. It is not connect. It is the development of the concentration meditation further, right? Therefore, once you practice this vitakka and vichara, that means initial application and sustained application, you will achieve three results. They are called piti, sukha and ekaggata. Piti means zest. Sukha means happiness. Ekaggata means one-pointedness of mind. Here we have to understand that piti is a sankhara, disposition. Because person means five aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, form, feeling, perception, disposition and consciousness. Then piti, zest, is a mental happiness. Therefore, it belongs to the sankhara or dispositions. But sukha, we are feeling it. Actually, even not only mentally but also physically, we feel that happiness. It belongs to a vedana. Vedana means feeling, right? Therefore, vedana the sukha belongs to the vedana or feeling. Piti belongs to the sankhara or disposition. That's the difference. For example, suppose that one person is traveling through a desert without water. He is very thirsty. Now he is searching for water, but he cannot find anywhere. But somehow when he is traveling, he sees in the distance a pond full of water and lotus flowers, etc. By the mere sign of that pond creates a mental happiness in the person's mind. That is called piti, zest. It's a mental formation, right? Then after that, he runs to the pond and drinks and take bath. While drinking and taking bath, there arises the consciousness. It is called happiness. It is sukha. That's the difference between the two. Once the person is happy internally and externally, then his mind is pacified. That means ekaggata, one-pointedness of mind, is achieved. Therefore, these three are piti, sukha, ekaggata, the results, but the practice is vitakka and vichara. But this is not anything abnormal. You know that in day-to-day life also we do this. That means, suppose that, but in day-to-day life we take not the wholesome objects but unwholesome objects. For example, suppose that a bad person, you love a bad person, then you take his image into the mind. You are thinking of him. That when you take the image of that person into the mind, it is initial application, vitakka. Then you are checking that person all the time. Oh, where he is going, what he is talking, why didn't he talk to me today, etc. You are checking. That checking process is going on. Then if the person is a bad person, what are the results? Stress, depression and suicide. That is why. But here, Kasina Mandala or Buddha image, something like that, it is a wholesome object, right? Actually, when you create a mental image about those objects, actually there do not arise any unwholesome thoughts. All are wholesome. That is why you achieve zest, happiness and one-pointedness of mind. Therefore, then in the Rupavachara Chitta, all the 15 consciousnesses I have explained, you will learn it. And also, the same one-pointedness of mind. That means the fifth jhana consciousness can be further extended to achieve the formless sphere consciousness. That means akasananchayatana, viññānañchayatana, akinchanyayatana, neva sanya, na sanyayatana. That means that one-pointedness of mind is that particular mind related to the object, kasina object, is replaced by space, right? Then he is concentrating on space. Then after that he thinks space means nothing, only the consciousness. Then he replaces the space by consciousness. Then he is concentrating on consciousness. Viññānañchayatana, its endlessness, he is concentrating. And then he thinks, Vijnana is nothing, right? Therefore, he replaces consciousness with voidness. Then he is concentrating on the endlessness of voidness. Then finally, when he comes to the fourth Arupavachara Jhana, we cannot say whether the person is living or not. That is why, neither perception nor non-perception. In such a mood, the highest level of concentration we achieve. Then, from there, then we go to actually now you have achieved the highest level of concentration of mind, then we are not biased, right? We can see something as it is without bias. That is why we are concentrating insight meditation. We are developing the insight meditation. Insight meditation means seeing the real nature of the world as it is, right? That means impermanent, suffering and soullessness, etc. Then we see. But if we have not achieved the concentration, we are thinking of the world as good, bad, etc., as mine and others, like that. Discrimination occurs. But once we achieve the fullest concentration, we can see anything as it is. Then we are developing the stream entry, once returning, non-returning and arahantship. Then actually this is called insight meditation. That is why Buddha says, first of all, you have to establish yourself on a moral ground. It is the basis of meditation. Then you can develop the mentality. That means concentration meditation. That means, by morality and concentration, we calm down the external behavior and the mental behavior of the person. After that means he is very fully calm and quiet physically and mentally. Then he can see anything as it is. Then this is called insight meditation. Its results are the supramundane consciousness. I think now we can, in the next lecture, we can further reflect over this. Thank you very much.